Hi, I'm Susan Keefe from Rhubarb and Cod, and today I'm making gochujang bean burritos with kimchi queso. Yes, we're playing with K-Mex flavors here. Well, technically this is K-Cal Tex-Mex because we're using queso and it's in the form of a Mission burrito. Yeah, we're making a piece of fusion today. Even if you're not familiar with the name, you're familiar with the Mission burrito. The Mission burrito is the large format burrito filled with rice and tons of fillings that we've all scarfed at 4 a.m. in a vain attempt to absorb alcohol. The Mission burrito became popular in the 1960s in the Mission district of San Francisco. It was one of the first burritos to find a home in aluminum foil, and as we'll see later, the foil is essential to its structural integrity. It's not a necessity, but Mission burritos are often grilled. That was not a possibility with these gochujang bean burritos. They wouldn't have survived the trip. But enough about burrito origins. Let's get these gochujang bean burritos started. Start by dicing half a red onion. If your red onion is small, dice the whole thing. This one was ginormous. Next, mince 2 cloves of garlic and set aside. In a small bowl, whisk to combine 2 tablespoons of gochujang, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of honey, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, and 1 teaspoon of gochugaru. Pour 2 tablespoons of neutral oil in a large cast iron skillet. Heat until shimmering. Add the onion and saute until just translucent. Add the garlic and saute until fragrant, about 30 seconds more. Add 2 cans of drained and rinsed pinto beans, half a cup of low-sodium vegetable stock, and the gochujang sauce you mixed earlier. Stir to combine and bring the mixture up to a boil before reducing to a simmer. Let cook for 15 minutes, stirring occasionally to prevent sticking. While the beans are cooking, steam a couple of cups of jasmine rice using your preferred method. I always go the rice cooker route. And while the rice is underway, let's make the kimchi queso. I learned this technique for making queso from the website Serious Eats last year, and I haven't been able to stop making it since. Basically, this method creates a stable cheese sauce that can be cooled and reheated without separating. True Texan queso is made with the processed cheese Velveeta, which is responsible for its free-flowing, molten texture. But if you're keen to use a cheese that's not processed, or you want more flexibility in the variety of cheeses you can use, a reheatable, unbreakable queso is a tough nut to crack. And eating a vat of fresh queso in one sitting is not as fun as it sounds. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. That's why this cornstarch and evaporated milk technique is a total game changer. You can make a large batch of queso, eat slightly more than a sensible amount, and then stow away the leftovers for future queso cravings. The kimchi queso starts like this. Shred 8 ounces of aged cheddar. Place them in a large bowl, I like to use a pie plate for whatever reason, and add a tablespoon of cornstarch. Toss to coat. Finally chop half a cup of kimchi. This is store-bought kimchi because I'm not cool enough to have homemade. Set it aside with the cheese. Pour 1 cup of evaporated milk into a small saucepan. Place over medium heat and bring it to the verge of simmering. Add the cheese and the kimchi to the milk and stir until a thick, glossy queso forms. And that really is it. By the time your queso is good and hot, your beans should be ready and your rice should be steamed. Take the beans off of the heat and give them a quick mash with a potato masher. If you like your beans quite smooth, keep on going. If you like them chunky, you can leave it where I left it. Cover and keep your beans, queso, and rice warm while we assemble the rest of the toppings. I'm going to be loose with my measurements from here on out because this really is a choose-your-own-adventure sort of situation. Remember that half of red onion we set aside earlier? Let's start by dicing half of it. Again, this onion was ginormous, and when it comes to raw onion, a little goes a long way. Next, we're going to slice 2 jalapenos into thin rings. As with all spicy things, know your limit and play within it. Then we're going to coarsely chop some red leaf lettuce, and what you're thinking is correct. This was too much lettuce. And last but not least, dice an avocado. I like to spritz my avocado with a little lime juice to prevent browning. And now for the hard part, building your burrito. Now, of course, you want your burrito to be giant because why wouldn't you? But there's a fine line between giant and untenable, and I definitely danced on that line. Start with a sheet of tin foil and a sheet of parchment paper. Place a tortilla in the center. I used whole wheat. I like to start with lettuce because I have a theory that the weight of the other toppings will help contain it. On top of the lettuce, place a bed of rice, followed by the beans and the queso. From there, you can add as many toppings as you care to. I went with more kimchi, onions, jalapenos, avocado, and crushed blue corn tortilla chips. But again, what you add is totally up to you. Now for the stressful part. We're going to roll the burrito. I was legit sweating my way through this. Take the end closest to you and try your best to fold it over the mountain of toppings. Tuck either side towards the center, and using the parchment and foil, roll your burrito closed. Press to compress your burrito and pray it stays together long enough for you to eat it. If rolling a giant burrito isn't for you, might I recommend turning it into a burrito bowl. It tastes just as good and there's no burrito-related engineering involved. And there you go, a gochujang bean burrito with kimchi queso. This is seriously one of my new favorites, so I hope you give it a go. And if you do, let me know how it went in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for cooking with me. I'll see you all next time.